So today I actually wanted to try and do a vlog. Yes, an actual vlog. I don't really do them too often for many different reasons. Biggest reasons because something in that former previous vlog contradicts my current self, like my present fucking self disagrees with my old self. I'm not a particularly stable human being. I constantly change my mind. I'm the epitome of everyone's thoughts put together in just one little motherfucker that actually talks about anime. So today we're gonna be talking about feeling good or bad. You're feeling good, you're having a good day, you want to do things, you're just feeling in an overall state of positivity, or you're having a bad day and you just want to go on your bed, lie down, and throw pillows at your cat. Assuming you have a cat and not a transsexual iguana. And you know, before we get into anything, you never want to judge your previous actions on your modern, present-day criticisms, because if you do so, you'll end up being one sad individual. As a child, you probably didn't think all that much about annoying people up until you realized how annoying it was to get annoyed. You did what you did, you were fed a lot of distasteful reactions, and then you stopped doing it because you realized it wasn't helping out your situation. You were self-centered, ignorant, which is why in the future you kind of realized why they felt that way. I can't tell you how many times that I did something, and maybe when I did what I did in that present state, I didn't understand exactly why everything went down the way it did, but in the future, I kind of like realized, yeah, that's exactly why that happened. That just comes with maturity. It's a very simple topic, but point is, you upgrade yourself, and because of that upgrade, you're able to see things from that new perspective. Story's corny as fuck, but it serves an important role in obviously making you understand that you did gain that new perspective. You know, you understand why that motherfucker probably wanted to blow your head up with a shotgun. Well, for the longest time when I was younger, I looked at happiness, feeling good from this one-dimensional perspective that if, you know, if everything went good socially, if I did everything right, if people liked me, if I felt the affection that I honestly felt that I deserved, everything would be great and I'd feel true happiness, have amazing friendships, amazing relationships, just a happy fucking life. And I guess I thought sad was none of that actually happening. All of the things that I pictured being happy and making myself feel good, well, nothing of that sort happening would make me feel sad and feeling bad. That's what I thought. It was a very one-dimensional view. Don't get me wrong, that's not necessarily inaccurate. Yes, getting affection can potentially make you feel happy, and then not getting it can make you feel sad, but it's a little more complex than that. Things aren't really that simple because we actually made them more complicated, being human beings, living longer, actually coming to terms with reality, what it is, what it could potentially be, and therefore a lot of us have more pessimistic views about the world. We're not really shackled down, and a lot of us realize that we might actually not be given any unconditional love. There might not really be anything out there that loves us just because we are us. Maybe that's a new thought.
You say there ain't no God?
No, not at all. I don't personally know myself. I definitely question it, however. I don't really know everything about everything, but I tried to at least understand things or try to piece things together. For instance, when I was younger and I thought that certain things happening would ultimately satisfy me completely and give me the true experience, well, it didn't actually work according to plan. Good and bad things constantly revolved around me, sort of like a globe, and I was the one taking all of these things in, but I realized that I started to appreciate things less and less as good things came by. And as bad things started happening, I stopped giving a fuck less and less. Why exactly is this? A big thing is the fact that we actually learn to cope with things, and I guess in a sense, coping is probably humanity's biggest downfall as we grow older. And because of that, a great relationship, a great friendship, all of the things you want in the world, whether they be materialistic, you want to be famous, whatever the fuck you want, it could be the most selfish thing in the world. None of that will give you the true, yes, I have the biggest boner right now. Like, that doesn't just happen, you're just, yeah, cool, it just happened. It's sort of like you're getting a Nintendo 64 when you were 8. And then in the future, you being 26, you get a Wii U. Yeah, you're happy for a second, like, yes, I just got this Wii U, but it doesn't really shape your mood. It has everything to do with brain chemistry. Positive and negative influences obviously arise in terms of determining whether or not we feel good or bad, but I honestly don't feel like I felt like when I was a kid, in the sense that, yeah, these things happening just makes you happy or sad. No, because half the time I don't truly appreciate shit till it's gone, and when I really crave something and I finally get it, I forgot why I even craved it in the first place. Why? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I sort of figured out that no matter how many times you try doing things, ultimately life is like a puzzle. You have one piece missing and everything else is complete, and you're constantly stuck on that one piece but you can never really find that one piece. That one piece actually gives us meaning to life. Like, you can actually try rearranging that puzzle multiple times, and you will actually have a different piece missing every single time, meaning maybe that be in relation to you crave something different every time. Or you want something different, you want something in the past that you ultimately lost, whatever that may be. Well, part of this journey we know as life is just missing that one piece and constantly trying to fill it in, but you never really can. You just live a bunch of cycles around that piece and learn to cope with that piece. I know that sounds depressing as shit. Oh, you can never find that one missing piece of the puzzle, but think about it. Do we really want to find that one missing piece of the puzzle if it's actually even possible? But what if it's that missing piece that ultimately drives us to keep living, that ultimately gives us some meaning, that ultimately gives us something to search for, and that search for, that journey, is ultimately what life really is? I know it's hard to picture it from this perspective, but I already know that if I had everything and my puzzle was complete, I'd probably shoot myself. Am I the only one who actually feels like everything starts to make sense when I'm in a good mood and I don't really feel ashamed of anything? I'm happy because I'm happy, like my brain chemistry is just right. But I notice when I'm in a bad mood, everything stops making sense. I start feeling doubt, I start feeling hopeless about shit. I honestly feel like the only thing up for debate is actually what triggers these two things, but in reality, these two things are all determined by brain chemistry. Like an actual chemical hormone such as dopamine. If I was just an overabundance of dopamine, I would always be happy. Now, you could always say that, like, well, if you're always happy, then that just becomes your new state of content, and it just becomes boring again. Like, you won't really know what happy is unless you have the contrast sad. And it makes sense to think like that. You have the black that makes the white, you have the yin that makes the yang. But the truth is if your brain chemistry is right, you could be going through some of the most depressing shit, like, you know, masturbating to transsexual iguana porn, possibly doing something depressing in cycles that you don't want to do, like farming manure out of the ground. Who knows? The point is, if your brain chemistry is right, that doesn't affect you. You're still feeling happy, you're still feeling good inside, and that kind of shows me that at the end of the day, it's not really the good or bad that makes you happy or sad. It's really just your brain chemistry, these dopamines, these hormones. Your body naturally produces them. We don't actually know what triggers all of our actual emotions yet, but I feel like life is really nothing more than just instabilities of dopamine, serotonin, like these hormones that ultimately give us the moods that we are ultimately in at the moment. And vice versa, all of the things, maybe the hobbies that you were previously so interested in that made you happy, all of the things that you could picture in your mind as a trope that make you just jump up and down, well, if your brain chemistry isn't right, if you maybe suffer from depression, all of these things, well, they don't make you happy anymore. I'm pretty close friends with Foreverworld. One thing he told me that really just inspired me to think completely differently is the fact that some people just think a lot. I was raised Orthodox Christian when I was younger. I always thought good and bad when I was younger, and it was so easy and fun to do that because I could label things and still make sense of things, which was really nice up until I actually started coming to terms with reality. Like, you don't know how many times I wish I could go back to the days when I could say, yeah, wrong, yeah, right, because when I didn't actually know how to cope with things, the happy times were that much better. And with this video, you've experienced the OCD thought-provoking Double4anime that I will probably regret showing to you guys in the very near future.